I watched my ex-boyfriend Brandon mock me in front of 200 people at our college reunion, calling me a gold digger who married for money. He had no idea I knew exactly who my husband was, a billionaire who owned the very hotel we were standing in. But I didn't stop him. I let him keep going. Because I'd been planning this moment for 10 years, ever since he stole my business idea and destroyed my reputation in college. And now, finally, it was time to watch him burn. I'm Mary, and this is the story of how I spent a decade preparing the perfect revenge against the man who stole everything from me in college, and how I used my billionaire husband to destroy him in front of everyone we knew. Hit subscribe and stick around to the end because I'm sharing my honest take on whether I went too far. Now let me take you back to where this all started. 10 years ago, I was a senior at State University studying business management. I wasn't the smartest student or the most ambitious, but I had one thing going for me, a really good idea. I'd developed a concept for an app that would connect college students with local businesses for part-time work and internships. I called it Campus Connect. It was simple, practical, and I knew it could work. My boyfriend Brandon knew about it. We'd been dating for 3 years, and I trusted him completely. I showed him my business plan, my market research, all my notes. He said he was proud of me, that he believed in me. 2 weeks before graduation, Brandon broke up with me. Said I wasn't ambitious enough for him, that he'd met someone whose father owned hotels and could help his career. He needed someone on his level. I was devastated. But that wasn't even the worst part. 3 months later, I saw an article online. Brandon had launched a new app called Student Connect. The interface was different, but the concept was identical to mine. Every feature I'd planned, every detail I'd shared with him. He'd stolen my idea. When I tried to confront him, he laughed. "You can't prove anything, Mary. You have some handwritten notes and a dream. I have a functioning app and investors. Who do you think people will believe?" He was right. I had no legal recourse, no patent, no formal documentation, just my word against his, and he made sure to destroy even that. Brandon spread rumors around our professional network, told people I was bitter about our breakup and trying to claim credit for his work, that I was jealous and delusional. Within 6 months, my reputation in the business community was ruined. I couldn't get internships, couldn't get job offers. Every door slammed in my face because Brandon had poisoned the well. I ended up working at the city library. Not because I loved books, though I learned to, but because it was the only place that would hire me, and I spent 10 years watching Brandon's app grow. Watching him give interviews about his innovation. Watching him make millions off my idea, I never forgot, and I never forgave. 2 years ago, I met Daniel Cooper in a bookstore. I'd given up on the business world entirely by then. I was just trying to live a quiet life, away from the memories of what Brandon had stolen from me. Daniel and I reached for the same book, a detective novel, and our hands touched. We started talking, and 3 hours later, we were still sitting in that cafe. He was different. Quiet, thoughtful, genuine. He told me he worked in business management but didn't elaborate. I didn't push. On our 3rd date, he told me the truth. "I need to be honest with you about something," he said. "My full name is Daniel Cooper. I own the Heritage Hotel chain and several tech companies, and, well, Forbes says I'm worth about $3 billion. I stared at him. "You're joking." "I'm not. But I never tell people because I want them to know me as Daniel, not as Daniel Cooper the billionaire. You've been treating me like a normal person, and it's been the best 2 months of my life." I believed him. A quick Google search confirmed everything, and that's when the idea started forming. I told Daniel everything. About Brandon, about the stolen app, about how he'd destroyed my reputation and ruined my career. Daniel listened quietly, his jaw tightening with anger. "Let me make some calls," he said. "I can have lawyers." "No," I interrupted. "I don't want lawyers. I want him to feel what I felt. Humiliation. Powerlessness. Watching everything collapse in front of people he cares about." Daniel studied my face. "What do you need from me?" "In 8 months, there's a 10-year college reunion. Everyone will be there. Brandon will be there, showing off. I want you to come with me. But I want you to pretend you're just a regular guy. Nobody can know who you are. And then I want you to let him humiliate us. Let him call me a gold digger, A nobody, whatever he wants. Let him think he's won again. Daniel frowned. Mary, I don't know if I can just stand there while he... And then, I continued, when he's said everything he wants to say, when he feels powerful and superior, that's when we reveal who you are, in front of everyone. I want to watch his face when he realizes he just mocked a billionaire. I want everyone to see him grovel. Daniel was quiet for a long moment. That's calculated, he finally said. Yes. That's cold. Yes. Good, he said, and smiled. Let's destroy him. Over the next 8 months, we prepared everything. Daniel practiced acting ordinary. We shopped for a simple gray suit at a regular department store. He bought a modest sedan to drive. He perfected the art of being forgettable. I researched Brandon obsessively. Found out his car dealership was struggling with debt. Found out his marriage was rocky. Found out he was desperate to appear successful. Perfect. RSVP'd to the reunion. Mary +1. The night of the reunion, I was nervous. Not scared, excited, like an actress before opening night. Daniel squeezed my hand as we walked into the Grand Heritage Hotel, one of his properties, though nobody there knew it except the manager, who'd been briefed to stay silent unless signaled. We looked ordinary. Daniel in his gray suit. Me in a red dress I'd bought on sale specifically because it looked modest. Brandon spotted us within 20 minutes. He looked exactly the same. Expensive watch, too much hair gel, fake tan. His wife Jessica was dripping in designer labels. Well, Brandon said, approaching with that condescending smile. If it isn't Mary, still at the library? Yes, I said, keeping my voice small, defeated. This is my husband. Daniel. Brandon looked Daniel up and down, and I could see the judgment in his eyes. Business management, Daniel said when asked what he did. Simple and steady, right? Brandon smirked. Nothing wrong with that. I played my part perfectly. I looked embarrassed. It looked small. Let Brandon feel powerful. During dinner, he had a few drinks. His face got flushed. His voice got louder. That's when I knew it was time. I signaled to a friend across the room, someone I'd confided in. She accidentally brought up net worth in conversation, loud enough for Brandon to hear. Brandon took the bait. He stood up, tapping his wine glass. I'd like to make a toast, he announced. Here we go, I thought. It's amazing to see how far we've all come, Brandon said, his eyes finding mine. Some of us built empires. Some of us kept things simple. I looked down, playing the victim. Take Mary here, he continued, pointing at me. Still working at the library, married to... What was it? A business manager? A few nervous laughs. Some people are just happy with the simple life, Brandon said. Not everyone can be ambitious, right? I let a single tear roll down my cheek. Brandon was emboldened. Let me guess. Did Mary finally land herself a meal ticket? Found someone with a little money and decided to cash in? Gold digger. He said it. Perfect. I started to stand, as if to leave. But Daniel caught my hand and stood instead. Brandon, Daniel said quietly, I think you should apologize to my wife. Brandon laughed. Or what? What are you going to do, nobody? That's when Daniel slapped him. Not hard. Just enough. Brandon stumbled backward, holding his face, shocked. How dare you? Brandon shouted. I'll have you arrested. Do you know who I am? Daniel stayed calm. I know exactly who you are. The hotel manager appeared right on cue. Mr. Cooper, he said, his voice clear and loud. I didn't realize you were here this evening. Is everything all right? Brandon froze. Cooper? This is Daniel Cooper, sir, the manager said. He owns this hotel. He owns the entire Heritage Hotel chain. Someone gasped. Phones came out. Daniel Cooper, a classmate read from her screen. Net worth $3 billion. One of the youngest billionaires in the country. I watched Brandon's face cycle through emotions. Confusion, realization, horror. I had no idea, Brandon stammered. Of course you didn't, I said, standing up. My voice was no longer small. Because you only respect people based on money. Brandon turned to me desperate. Mary, 10 years ago you stole my business idea, I said clearly, so everyone could hear. Campus Connect was mine. You took my work, launched it as your own, and then destroyed my reputation so I couldn't fight back." Murmurs rippled through the room. "That's not," Brandon started. "I have the original documents," I continued. "Dated. Notarized. My handwriting. My concept. Everything. I've kept them for 10 years, waiting for the right moment." Daniel pulled out his phone. "I've also had my legal team prepare a lawsuit. Patent infringement. Theft of intellectual property. We'll be filing first thing Monday morning." Brandon's face went white. "You can't." "Actually," Daniel said, "we can. And we will. But that's not even the best part." He nodded to the manager. "Mr. Brandon," the manager said formally, "you're no longer welcome at any Heritage Hotel property worldwide. Security will escort you out." 2 guards appeared. Brandon was still trying to apologize to explain, as they led him away. Jessica was crying, humiliated. The room was silent. Then someone started clapping. Then another. Then everyone. Not for Brandon's humiliation, but for me. For finally getting justice. Brandon's car dealership declared bankruptcy 3 weeks later. The lawsuit I filed, with Daniel's lawyers and my original documentation, settled out of court for $2.4 million and a public apology. Jessica filed for divorce. Brandon's app, built on stolen ideas, was revealed to have plagiarized concepts from other sources, too. His reputation was destroyed. As for me, I'm still a librarian. I love my job, but now I also run a foundation that helps young entrepreneurs protect their intellectual property and fight back against theft. And Daniel? He still wears his simple gray suit to family dinners, because real power doesn't need to announce itself. It just waits for the perfect moment to strike. Now here's my honest take. Mary did the right thing. Brandon didn't just break her heart. He stole her work, destroyed her career, and got rich off her ideas. Waiting 10 years and planning the perfect public humiliation wasn't petty. It was justice. Sometimes revenge isn't about immediate gratification. It's about patience, planning, and watching karma unfold exactly as you designed it. What do you think? Did Mary go too far, or did Brandon get exactly what he deserved? Drop your opinion in the comments. And if this story satisfied your justice itch, smash that like button and subscribe for more revenge stories where the victims become the victors. Remember, revenge is a dish best served cold, at a reunion, in a hotel your husband owns. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.